Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Part of the reason I love Michael Jordan is the way he always reassured Bulls fans during the worst of times. I remember in the fog of civic grief following elimination losses to the bad boy Pistons, how Jordan would use his press conferences and his platforms to reassure all heartbroken Bulls fans that everything was going to be okay, that he was not going to stop until he delivered all of us to the top of the mountain. I think of that today because that is what I would like most from Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. I would like to hear sounds and signs of their passion and their fury. I would like them to tell us how much they care and how they will not stop until they deliver us that championship we so badly crave. I would like to hear all of that and imagine how much better we would all feel if the words we just heard from Mat Ishbia on Wednesday actually came out of the mouths of Booker and Durant. And think of how the one guy who spoke directly to Suns fans happens to be the head coach who might be on his way to the guillotine. At any rate, we're once again all stuck in a very weird place. There is no resolution yet on Frank Vogel, and after all of this weirdness, there are no guarantees that Durant and Booker want to be in Phoenix next season. Now, I get it. I know all the local beat writers insist the Booker to New York rumors are ridiculous and unfounded, and I really hope they're right. But personally, I would feel much better if I heard some of that stuff from the man himself.
Yeah, roster-wise, everybody talks about the firepower, but, you look around the league, it comes down to the details. I don't want to keep saying that, but it's a super important thing. You can't just go out there and think you're going to win off talent. The game is more complicated than that.
That is Devin Booker after Game 4, the loss that swept the Suns out of the playoffs, answering the question if he believes this team has the roster to win a championship. He did not say yes or no, but he went to the details part again, which indicates to me that he's leaning no. Right now, we lean too heavily on talent. Real quick, we forgot to mention, Laurie Sturgis, congratulations. Laurie was caller number 4. Woo-hoo. So Laurie's going to see D-backs Padres this weekend. You got 2 more opportunities to win. Just listen for the D-backs Padres sounder. And if you are the correct caller number, you're going to the game. And then Wolf and Luke have you covered all day long, as well as Burns and Gambo.
There you go.
We're sending people to Chase Field.
Okay, so I want to get. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was just going to lay it out there. Devin Booker, the New York rumors.
The New York rumors
started by Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, like him, hate him, whatever. He has very good basketball sources. That you can say about the man, and I doubt that he made that up. Now, he also has blue and orange pom-poms.
He does. Now, and again, just because he hears that Devin Booker would love to play in New York, that could mean any number of things. But I do want to table this. There seems to be a belief locally that Devin Booker would never do this to us. And I know that I heard Kellen, our guy Kellen, the great Kellen Olson on Wolf and Luke yesterday, kind of speaking with disdain about the Stephen A. Smith rumors. And I read Gerald Bourget, who writes for PHNX. He said, according to a source in Devin Booker's camp, that this is not on the table, that this is not real. Okay, this idea that he would never do this to us, I have a hard time swallowing that at face value based on what I know of this league, based on what I know of Devin Booker's journey, based on what I saw from him this year, and based on just where the Suns happen to be at this moment and what is going on in the league. This new generation of young stars, they're all kind of raising up and raising awareness, and this is supposed to be Book's time. So you wonder about this. Now, with that in mind, I got a text from a basketball source yesterday informing me to watch out for Worldwide Wes. Worldwide Wes is William Wesley, who is a basketball influencer, if you will. Every player in the NBA knows him. He's been called one of the most powerful guys in the NBA. He now works for the Knicks, as does Leon Rose, who once represented Devin Booker. Worldwide Wes was partly responsible, if not directly responsible, for brokering Jalen Brunson's deal to New York. In fact, he got dinged for tampering.
Yep.
I'm just saying it because it crossed my ears. William Wesley, Worldwide Wes, one of Devin Booker's closest friends.
Yeah, he's a Kentucky guy, right? Or has ties to Kentucky?
He's the guy that brokered all these kids to Calipari.
Huh.
Yeah. So So I'm thinking this is where Stephen A. Smith is hearing this. Because it's all seems to be coalescing around this idea that the New York Knicks would love to pair a guy like Devin Booker with Jalen Brunson, and maybe you could get Julius Randle and 5 number ones in return, and blah, 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 blah. Like Vinny said, the point of making that kind of deal doesn't even seem like something that is even plausible with this owner. He doesn't want draft picks. You don't want first-round picks.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But I'm just saying that it's certainly not unusual for basketball players to do this, and I think we're all banking on Devin Booker being different. And I hope that the people who believe that are right.
You brought up something that I think is a two-way street here, and that's the plausibility. Is it plausible for this ownership if it was a package like that? Well, no. Is it plausible for the Knicks at this point? The Knicks are moving on to the second round of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They might get to the finals.
Yeah, yeah, and then they might. Then the calculus might change.
And
right.
I'll say this generally speaking, and then we can get more detailed on Devin Booker and his place in Phoenix. I think what we know about Devin Booker is he appreciates the game. He appreciates the bright lights. He talks about it a lot, and his track record playing at Madison Square Garden is pretty impressive. What he did there this year, the buzzer beater, they win that game over the Knicks without Kevin Durant in that game. He rises to the occasion. He appreciates the atmosphere. But I also think Devin Booker is one of many, many, many star players in the NBA that appreciate New York for what it is. And they would love to play there at some point. Or just generally speaking, who wouldn't love to play in New York?
Madison Square Garden.
At Madison Square Garden.
Right.
It's not all, sunshine and rainbows there either.
No.
And people forget that now because of what Jalen Brunson has done in his first 2 years. That dude's different.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's focus on Devin Booker's place in Phoenix. And I would be lying to you, and I'm not going to, but if you said, oh, you don't notice anything different about Devin Booker this year, did I notice a detachment? From my perspective, yes. But I also look at his legacy already, what he's been through in Phoenix,
mm-hmm.
and I still know for a fact how important the organization from top to bottom is. Devin Booker knows everything that is going on in the organization. And that's important to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that when, the Suns are honoring somebody, he's the guy that makes it a point to come out and be part of that as a representative of the current Suns to the past Suns.
Yes. The Al McCoy anecdote is at the forefront of that.
Yes. Sean Marion got inducted into the Ring of Honor this year. They did it post-game. The Suns lost that game to the Knicks, I believe. Devin Booker, the last thing he probably wanted to do was go out there and sit through a long ceremony after a game. He did it with a gift in hand to present to Sean Marion. Phoenix means a ton to Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these reports from Stephen A. Smith, he gets New York. He doesn't get Phoenix.
That's true.
He doesn't get Devin Booker's connection in Phoenix.
That's true.
So Sarah asked a question in the Rush Hour reboot. Does it make any sense for the Suns to, and Rick Bucher suggested it too. That's the way you really kickstart a reset in Phoenix. No, they're not there.
No.
And I know people are frustrated and will want to blow it up. And they need to make changes. That's not the change you make.
No, and again, I want to be very, very clear that I'm not espousing this. That if this ever comes down, it's because Devin Booker doesn't want to go back into the dark ages. That he might think, okay, my time here is done. This is no longer suited for me. Whatever. Like I said, I hope that does not happen. I don't see any. I mean, if you're Mat Ishbia, you're dealing with your first case of adversity now. You're dealing with your first dip in popularity, wildly popular before the end of this season, right? For a lot of good reasons.
Yes.
The last thing he's going to be is the guy that trades Devin Booker.
Yeah,
exactly.
Devin Booker's connection to the team, he's been here 9 years, which outdoes the second longest tenured member by 8 years.
And
really?
I'll say this too, because you brought up
Yeah.
Worldwide Wes. He's been in that position with the Knicks since before the bubble kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
2020, June of 2020 is when he got that job.
Yep.
And I remember the rumblings then too. Oh, this is something to look out
Yes.
for.
Yes.
And here we are.
And so the rumblings are coming again because the Knicks are viable, because they've got all the energy, all the excitement. They got all the draft picks.
And the Suns were a disappointment. Logic tells you, hey, something might be cooking.
Yeah.
There can't be anything.
And I hope everyone's right about that. But at the same time, I would love to hear, and I think Wolf has said the same thing, just some reassurance from Devin Booker. Not so much about him staying, about we got this.
Yeah,
don't worry.
I agree
we
with
got
that.
this.
Like, why were after the game, Devin Booker spoke. On the exit interview portion of it, there was 2 players that spoke. It was Grayson Allen and Bradley Beal.
Yep.
That, I mean, in that circumstance, those words would have gone a long way.
Exactly.
And could have quelled this entire segment of this radio show.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.